Guys, we live in the golden age of firearms. There are so many different choices out there that you can really tailor what you want to carry, how you want to carry. I mean, the capacity, the barrel length, I mean, they have really stepped out. And over the past 10 years, 2020 was no different, and they have really come out with some exceptional firearms. Today we're going to take a look at my 5 top picks for guns that I reviewed in 2020, and this is the handgun edition. We're going to start at number 5 and we're going to move up to number 1, and then I have a few honorable mentions at the end that we're going to just kind of take a look at that honestly could have been in that same list. Guys, we really appreciate Fiocchi for sponsoring the ammo, especially in 2020 and 2021. This stuff's made in the USA, it's excellent quality, and we really appreciate their support. All right, number 5 on the list is the Arex Delta. And guys, this was honestly a surprise for me, taking this out to the range. One of the big things about the Arex Delta is how thin it is. It is super thin, and yet still holds 15 in 1, which we'll go ahead and drop the magazine, check the chamber, and it is unloaded. The 15 round magazine is just well made, quality made, but also this will fit a standard CZ P10C mag. Have a little bit of a hangover here, but it still just fits, and that way, you know, you have that option. It also comes with a 17 round magazine with an extended base plate, which, you know, comes with the pistol. Now, one of the big things about this handgun, though, is the looks are just unorthodox. I mean, it's got a little bit more of an angular design to it, so that's just different. But honestly, fitting it in your hand, it's so thin, it fits really well. There are 3 different bag straps, and so you can make this fit however you want to. But this is the big coup for this pistol, is how flat it shoots. And guys, I'm telling you, this gun shoots incredibly flat. Low bore axis, the recoil spring and guide rod actually aid in that. It's a single spring captured guide rod. And for some reason, this gun just really is one of the flattest shooting firearms. Compared to the Glock 19, it's pretty close to the same size, but yet just a little bit shorter. But the thinness of this handgun is really what, to me, makes the biggest difference. Now, I have the original review video annotated right above. You can check it out for all the full details. And there are a lot. Cold hammer forged barrel. The sights are just excellent. I mean, there's a lot of great features about this firearm. And I really appreciate Gun Zone Deals for sending the Arex Delta for this test and evaluation. Number 4 is the G43X MOS version. And guys, this is my current concealed carry. One thing that I've switched to are the Shield Arms S15 magazines, which allow you to have 15+1, which this is typically a 10+1 magazine. We'll go ahead and drop the magazine. It is the standard Glock polymer mag, and the gun is unloaded. Now, there are a couple of upgrades to this firearm over the standard G43X. Number 1, of course, is the adapter here to be able to put in any kind of micro red dot. And you really want those thinner red dots. Again, I'll have the video annotated right above. You can check all the real details out. But one thing, too, they've added is the Picatinny rail. And so with the standard G43X, it didn't have it, at least the early model that I have. The one thing about this firearm is, again, how small and thin it is. And guys, obviously, I like that thinness. It just gives you a lot of controllability over the firearm when you're shooting it. With the extra rounds, this makes an excellent concealed carry piece. And again, one of the reasons why this has been my concealed carry for a while. It has the Glock reliability, and yet it's upgraded over the standard G43 with the extension of the magazine. But then you have front cocking serrations. I mean, you have your standard Glock sights, and of course, there's a bazillion different choices with that. But overall, this is a standard G43X that you can put a sight on it. But taking this out to the range, it shoots like a full-size gun, even though it's really thin and more compact. And with the less slide mass, you seem to have a little less felt recoil than even your Glock 19. And the Glock 19 is the one gun, if I only had one, this is the gun I would carry. Again, adding in those Shield Arms S15 magazines upgrades this to a same capacity as your G19, and yet a heck of a lot smaller and actually shorter. So honestly, it's the best of both worlds. And I want to thank Glock for sending the G43X. These have not been available. They're hard to find. And they actually got this out of their testing department to send for this T&E, which I'm buying. Number 3 on the list is the Volquartsen Black Mamba. And I'll tell you what, guys, this is to me the ultimate in 22. I mean, it is a fantastic looking gun. Volquartsen has been around since 1974, making really high quality pistols and rifles in rimfire. Very accurate and used in a lot of competitive circuits. Of course, this is based on the Ruger Mark IV series, and in fact, the frame is actually a 2245 Ruger frame. But there's so many upgrades to this, it puts it at a whole nother level. Now we're going to go ahead and drop the magazine. It is a 10-round Ruger magazine, but it does have the Volquartsen base plate, and this really comes into play with reliability. One of the things about the standard Mark IV is that you have a little bit of play with the magazine sometimes, and the feed lips don't get quite up to the bolt. With the Volquartsen base plate, it allows for the magazine to be fully seated, it's very stable, and it allows for better accuracy. Let's go ahead and check too to make sure the chamber's empty. Now the bolt has a DNC coating, the bolt handle and the bolt, and man, it is really slick. Easy to grab because of this handle, more so than your standard Ruger with the ears here. Now this is based on the Mark IV series, so it's really easy to disassemble. If you want to see the full review on this pistol, I have it annotated right above, and you can go check it out. But this is an aluminum chassis here at the top. In fact, this is the LLV upper chassis. It does have kind of a scale pattern here that, of course, for the Black Mamba. You can put a red dot here at the top on this Picatinny rail, and then underneath, if you're going to put lights or lasers. It does have the one-port comp. This is removable. In fact, it comes with a tool. You can take this off. You could actually add a suppressor to this, but this does aid in keeping the muzzle down even more. It has a stainless steel barrel under this aluminum housing. Fiber optic front sight, and then we have a blacked out rear sight that is fully adjustable. It comes with the 1911 Hogue grips, and with that grip angle of the 1911, which makes it really natural to shoot. But the trigger is exceptional, and this has their accurizing trigger kit. And guys, it gets the trigger pull down to 2.25 pounds, and it is just phenomenal. I mean, it's super smooth, it's adjustable. Taking this out to the range, we had a lot of fun. It's just, again, very balanced, easy, pointable, and especially if you're competing, this makes a great firearm to make those transitions really quick. Not only is it very reliable, but it is extremely accurate. And of course, that's no surprise coming from Volquartsen. So number 3 on the list, the Volquartsen Black Mamba. Guys, this is an incredible firearm. And we really appreciate Volquartsen for sending the Black Mamba. Number 4 on the list is the Springfield Armory 1911 Ronin in 10mm. Guys, 10mm to me is just an incredible round. The power that goes behind it, and there's nothing that I like shooting 10mm through better than a 1911. With the thin grip and just the ergonomics and the grip angle, it makes it really easy to shoot that 10mm, which is a full power load. We're going to drop our magazine. It's 8+1, and we're going to check the chamber, and it's empty. Of course, this pistol in itself is just a work of art, and Springfield Armory does an incredible job on their 1911s, yet they're not super expensive. These are priced very reasonably compared to the other boutique type 1911s that are out on the market. Has the stainless steel frame. Of course, the bluing on the slide is absolutely phenomenal. Very minimal here, and then we have the Springfield Armory logo on the other side. Really exceptional trigger pull, and of course with 1911s we have a high ride beaver tail. You do have a flat mainspring housing that is checkered, and just a smooth front strap. But guys, this is a very controllable firearm at the range. Beautiful rosewood grips, and it comes with a 5-inch cold hammer forged barrel. In fact, the frame and the slide are both forged. They're not cast like some of the budget 1911s. This is a masterpiece. It is absolutely beautiful. Taking it out to the range, it just shoots very flat for a 10mm, which definitely has some recoil. But really, it's very controllable with the 1911 grip angle and the thinness of the frame. It just allows you to have a really solid grip on the firearm when firing. Now I have the full review annotated right above, and you can go check it out. But if you're looking for a 10mm, this to me, and I have a number of 10mm, is my favorite. I mean, it is a thing of beauty, very controllable at the range, and it's just that 1911 feel. And we really appreciate Springfield Armory for sending the Ronin 1911 10mm. Number 1 on the list is the Zev OZ9. Zev has been making Glock aftermarket parts for a number of years. It was really great to see them come out with a full pistol. Now this looks like your standard Glock 19 that's been just totally upgraded. But this firearm has been totally redesigned by Zev from the ground up. And there are some huge differences with this firearm. Let's go ahead and drop our magazine. It does come with 2 of the Magpul Glock mags. Chamber is empty. One thing, guys, the slide cuts, I mean, they're just over the top. I mean, the design of this is definitely Zev. You'll notice that it is optics ready, so you can put your micro red dots on here. You have your rear sight that's blacked out, and we have a fiber optic front cocking serrations, but the frame as well. I mean, the stippling and the laser engraving on here, it just is in all the right places. I love the memory notch right here. The trigger has been designed where it cuts off that little nipple that comes out on the standard Glock, and it has a nice undercut here, and you have a thinned out trigger guard. Has a really nice magazine release that's actually angled just a touch, so it makes it really easy to get to. It has the Zev Pro flat face trigger, which is really excellent. I mean, it is the flat face, so it makes it really nice for that trigger pull. You'll notice that it does have a metal Picatinny rail, and this is actually part of the chassis system that's inside this frame, and that is one of the big departures over the Glock 19. So you can pull the chassis out, you can change different frames, different slides, and that counts as the firearm. It does have your nice beaver tail here, and so it gives you a really solid high ride on the handgun. And it also has a mag well that's really minimal and allows your hand really to fit up close to the trigger guard. And it has a 19-degree grip angle, which is more like your 1911. Now, while this firearm is very reliable, it is very flat shooting, and a lot of that has to do with the recoil system. It's funny because when you're firing it, it has a quicker snap, and yet it gets back on target really fast. And so shooting this was a pleasure. I'm a big fan of the Glock 19. I've been carrying them for years, and honestly, this is a better shooting firearm. So it's not all cosmetics. A lot of it has to do with the design features that Zev has incorporated. And I'll have the full review annotated right above, and you can see all the details. Also, we pull out the chassis so you can see that. We do appreciate Big Daddy Unlimited for sending the Zev OZ9 for this test and evaluation. This is the compact model. It does come in a full-size model as well. Now, as far as honorable mentions, I wanted to bring out three that I thought were really exceptional. One is the FN 509C Tactical. This is the compact version, and it has the threaded barrel, it has your suppressor height sights. Love the color, love the grip on these firearms. I mean, they are really great shooting guns. One thing about the FN 509C is it's very modular. There's a lot you can do with it, and so this makes a great firearm, especially for home defense, self-defense, or your go-to pistol. Also, the Glock G29 in 10mm. This is the compact version, and this has been around for a long time, but I've really had a great time at the range with this firearm. In 10mm, of course, with the recoil, this just seems to handle it very well. It's got that Glock reliability, and guys, this is just one of those exceptional firearms. Whether you want to carry it concealed, which, you got a handful, but also it just makes a great gun to accompany you on like hunting trips or if you're on the trail. And last but not least, the VP9 Long Slide OR for Optics Ready. And this is actually the slide kit, but it comes in a full pistol as well. And guys, I'm not typically a big fan of long slides, but this one has kind of changed my mind. I really love shooting this firearm. We've got one of the Holosun 507Cs on here, which made it just a little bit of an upgrade. I love it. The VP9 has been HK's best-selling firearm for a number of years now, and this is just a great upgrade. If you get the kit, you can just throw it on, and of course I've done reviews on all these, and I'll have different ones annotated as we go along, but this is really an exceptional firearm. So guys, I hope you enjoyed my 5 top picks. I'm sure that there are others that came out that I didn't review, but these are just the ones that I did review and then really had my hands on and really enjoyed shooting. And guys, if you found a new gun in 2020 that either you bought or it just piques your interest, make sure you leave it down below in the comments. Rubber Dummies is one of the best training tools on the market, and you get a 10% discount using Suit00 when you click the link down in the description. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Now, number 4 on the list is the Glock G19X. It's not a G19, number 1, you doofus. MOS version. The Glock G9. Number 4 is the G19. I can't quit saying G19. Feed lips to get right up into the. Okay. Let's go ahead and drop our magazine to make sure the. Shoot. This thing is so long. We're gonna check to make sure that the chamber is empty, and I bumped the camera. Dadgummit, this thing is so long. I love it. More so than your standard Glock. And guys, I was sitting on this little stool. This is not my favorite seat for 2020.